Sai Ram. Respected elders and dear brothers and sisters, we welcome you to one more edition of Samarpan. Today is a very special day. Today is the 20th of October, the Avatar Declaration Day, the momentous day when Bhagavan declared that the whole world was his family and his devotees were waiting for him. So this day, it is very fortunate that we have a Samarpan session, and also a renowned devotee of the Lord, Dr. Keki Mistry. Incidentally, he was born on a day where another messenger of the God descended on this earth, that is on the 25th of December. Dr. Mistry was born on the Holy Christmas Day in 1935. He first came to meet Bhagavan in the year 1965. And he was personally inducted by Bhagavan into the Bombay Sathya Seva Samiti in the year 1968. Subsequently, he was made the chairman of the Samiti. In the same year, Bhagavan created the Sri Sathya Seva Dal, for which Dr. Mistry was made the in charge. He was also made the in charge for the All India Seva Dal and continued in that position for 12 long years. By Swami's grace, he was appointed as a trustee of the Maharashtra Sri Sathya Sai Seva Trust, which he continues to this day. A Parsi by religion, he has been a very devout Parsi, worshipping almost 4 times a day since his young age. Probably that's what brought him to Bhagavan. Professionally, Dr. Mistry is an orthodontist. He finished his graduation in 1961 from Mumbai University and completed his postgraduate degrees from the UK and the US. He has been the professor, dean and director at Mumbai and currently serving as the professor emeritus at the same university. He has been well known for his accomplishments in the professional field. Just to cite a few, he has been president of almost all the major professional dental bodies in India, the president of the Asia Pacific Dental Foundation, which has countries, around 29 countries as its member affiliates. Also, he was the chairman of the Preventive Oral Health Board of the World Dental Federation, which has around 139 countries as its members. And also, he has been serving as a consultant for the WHO on oral health. So, without taking too much of my time, I would request Dr. Mistry to come and share his experiences with Bhagavan.
Beloved father, mother, friend, and always and ever the Sai. We bow to thee, O Lord. All names are yours, all forms are yours. With hands folded in prayer, we ask of thee the gift of the good mind, so that we may think good thoughts, speak good words, and do good deeds. Forever keep us under thy care, following the good mind with good thoughts in our mind, your name on our lips, and good actions flowing through our hands, knowing that work is worship and duty is God, loving all, serving all, helping ever, hurting never. This prayer we beseech thee to grant, O Lord. Fellow pilgrims on the path of truth, Mr. President Lakappa, Directors Sri Sanjay Sahani, Warden Sri Ravi Kumar, Brindavan Management Committee Vinay Kumar, Sri Bhutia, and fellow members, Sai Ram to all of you. First, let me start by telling you 2 real-life stories to explain the phenomena that we have witnessed over the past few decades. These stories will illustrate, they are true stories. One is regarding my own family, another is regarding a friend's family. Let us call it story number 1, Mr. Patel. Let's call him Mr. Patel. Mr. Patel married late in life. His wife was also 43 when they married. Then for 3 years, they did not have any issue. After 3 years, a baby girl was born to them. If God gives us children, I wish none of us will get a child like that. The baby was born without any muscular strength, without any bone strength. If you take a kerchief and you hold the kerchief up like this and you drop it, the kerchief crumbles down. That's how the baby was. Mr. Patel was a salesman in a paint factory. He was not rich, but he spent a fortune trying to seek cures for this baby girl. Finally, they even sold their cooking vessels, utensils, in order to raise money. Nothing happened. The child grew worse. Somebody told him that in the south of India, there is one person who can cure. He is called Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Please go there and show your daughter to him. Mr. Patel went and spoke to his wife. He had no knowledge of Sri Sathya Sai Baba. His wife said, no, this is all black magic. I am not going to go there. 2 years went by and the child became worse. Finally, Mr. Patel could contain himself no longer. He took a photograph of that baby and he asked directions of how to go to Prashanti Nilayam. That old mandiram was there at that time. And Swami was staying at one end, there was a veranda. And Swami would cross over for his tiffin at the other end. He said he arrived in Prashanti Nilayam at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Swami was just standing there looking at the crowd. So he folded his hands and said, if you are a man of God, help me, I am in need. Swami didn't even look at him. Their eyes didn't meet. And then Swami went away. So he asked people around him, what should I do? They said, well, we sit here. Swami comes out, he seeks people for an interview. He might call you, sit down. While he was sitting down, Swami came out and came directly towards him, but not looking at him. And I'm trying to tell you in Patel's own words. He said, Swami picked up a person to the right of me. Swami picked up a person to the left of me. Swami picked up a person in front of me. Swami picked up a person behind me who just didn't even look at me. And then Swami went away with the people he had selected for interview. He was surprised. He said, what should I do? I've taken 10 days leave from my office. Somebody told him, look, I've been waiting here for 10 days and I have not had an interview. Somebody told him, I have been here for a month and I have not been called. He got panicky, but they said, don't worry, tomorrow morning is another interview. You come in the morning, then also in the afternoon. So he tried that. The same sequence repeated itself. Swami called to the right of him, to the left of him, behind him, in front of him, but did not look at him. He said during the functions, he tried to catch Swami's eye. He sort of ran in front of the queue. He tried to break the queue. He tried many things. Swami just wouldn't look at him. After 14 days, he said, an old man comes, he extended his leave. Something made him stay. So he sent a telegram to his office, please extend leave. After 14 days, someone comes out of the ashram and says, there were about 200 people left at that time. He says, all may go now. Swami says, all are blessed. Swami is leaving. He just got absolutely upset. He didn't know what to do. He says, I can't go back to my wife. There will be a big fight in the house. I can't go back. This is useless. Swami has not seen me. He has not looked at me. He doesn't know my problem. So you know what he did? He went to the railway tracks and he laid down. He said, I will wait for the train to come. But friends, trains run late in India. And he had to wait for quite some time. 2.5 hours passed by. The hot sun was beating down on him. Finally, he got up. And he said, well, then thoughts, should I leave my wife alone? Is it very fair to leave her with this child? Am I doing the right thing? Etc., etc., etc. And he went home. 17 days after he had left his home, he went there. Sorry, I get emotional. He opened the door, and there was this child that he had left as a vegetable, sitting down sitting down, playing. He said, and when the child who had not seen the father for so long got up, toddled towards him, and toddled towards the father and said, Pa. The child before could not speak, it could only follow with his eyes. He said, I put my bags down and I cried. Then his wife told him that the time he correlated, he made this wish, if you are a man of God, tell me. That time the child started to improve. Now what I want to stress here, this man had no knowledge of Sathya Sai. He didn't speak with Sai. He didn't talk to him. He didn't express on a one-to-one basis his problem. Yet Sai knew and Sai cured. I'm not saying the child today is completely normal. There's been a lag of 3 years or 4 years. And the child, if he wants to go there, if she wants to go there, says, I there. That sort of a thing. Complete. She cannot. But she can get up, she can put her clothes on, she can do her toilet. It's a great relief to a family. That is point. This is the phenomena that we have witnessed. Point number 2 is story number 2. My mother had terminal cancer and she was dying of cancer. Now, Swami would come to Bombay frequently, sometimes twice a year, and he used to stay for 4 to 10 days in those times. I was one of those persons allowed to be in his room to do things, take out his dress and etc., serve him food. And I was on sort of duty. I was on 24-hour duty. I was a younger man and I had a practice, but when Swami was there, I completely shut down and was in full-time attendance. One Friday, Swami was there, and Swami retired and locked the door at about 7:30 in the evening. He would normally open up the next morning and we could enter. At 7:30, Swami retired into his room. At about 7:45, I get a phone call that your mother is not conscious and she has been admitted to hospital. Please come quickly. So I asked the person, who are you? So she said, I'm a friend of the family. I said, is my father there? So I said, please put him on. So I told Dad, I'm on duty here. Swami has retired. I can't really knock on the door. I can't ask permission. And our discipline was such that if you are on duty, you can't leave. I at least followed that discipline. So I asked my father, do you need me? Does mother need me? He said, she's not conscious. Then I said, do you need me? He said, no, you stay there and pray. My sisters snatched the phone and said, what nonsense are you talking? Stupid. You must come there and all that. Then they gave the phone to the doctor. The doctor said, look, your family is asking me to speak to you, so I'm speaking, but I don't think your mother will last the night. So I said, give the phone to my father. I told my father. He said, no, you stay there and you pray. I could not leave. I did not leave. Next morning at about 7:15, Swami opens the door, picks up a paper, and he looks at it. I'm standing there, and he reads the paper, with the paper as a screen in front of me. Finally, I did this kind of a thing. Kya hai? I said, this phone call from mother. This was Saturday morning, and she's not conscious, and she had cancer, and Swami had told me that she will not recover from this cancer. So I said, I seek leave to go. On Wednesday, I'm going to see Sawant, Minister Sawant. The hospital is on that side only, no? So we'll go and see her. I had not told him in which hospital she was. I had not told him anything. So I said, oh, Swami, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, can I go to visit her? No. You come with me only on Wednesday. On Saturday morning, he tells me, you come with me on Wednesday. By Saturday evening, mother recovered consciousness and she said, no, tell him to be there. Don't worry. Of course, a lot of relatives spoke many things to me, but I followed the discipline. I stayed there. On Wednesday morning, Swami told me, come sit in the car, we'll go and see your mother on the way to Savand. Now, I had not told him which hospital he was. Up to that time, he directs the driver where to go. He goes to the hospital, which is the Parsi General Hospital in Bombay. I didn't think Swami would come there, because this is totally a Parsi-run thing. But he did. I didn't inform anybody because I was not sure whether Swami would really go. But he went. He sat down next to mother. And can you imagine what happened? Mother started to scold him. What is the matter with you? Thousands of people are waiting for your darshan and you come all this distance. You know, it's a distance of 1.5 hour drive from where Swami stayed in Bombay to the hospital. What is the matter with you? People are waiting there for your darshan and you come to see this old lady. Swami turns around, knocks me on the head, says, see, this is called devotion. Then he talked to my mother. He sprinkled vibhuti all over her body. And she, being conscious of the fact she had only a coconut water, so he said, take some coconut. I am not the patient, ma, you drink it. And he sat down, he sat near her bed, spoke to her for about 25 minutes. And he left the hospital to go to the minister's house. To cut a long story short, mother died 2.5 years later, passed away, 2.5 years later. Now here is a phenomena who has been told on Saturday morning with great aplomb as he waves it off. He says, we'll go on Wednesday, you come with me. Think, friends, of the phenomena that we have witnessed. During Surya Namaskar this morning, I asked the sun what message it had for me today. The reply I got was, generate light, not heat. Generate light, not heat. The reason I am saying this is, today, in 1940, a young lad went to school, came back shortly, threw his books away, and said, I am not your Sathya anymore. My devotees are calling me. I am leaving. And I have no connection with the family. I have a mission to perform and I am going there. This was 28th of this month in 1940. And ever since that time, he has been shedding light for all of us. I am reminded of a story of a seed, which when planted into the ground, this plant grows only on the slopes of Assam and in China. When planted in the ground and nourished with water and fertilizer, does not show any activity on the surface. This plant is nourished for 1 year, nothing happens on the top. This plant is again nourished for the second year, nothing happens on the top. It's again nourished, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, the plant doesn't show any activity. After the 5th year, the plant starts to sprout. It sprouts at the rate of 2.5 feet per day until it reaches a height of 100 feet. It is called the giant bamboo plant, the Chinese bamboo. One of the most important plants in the world before the steel girders were made, because it was the plant used for construction work all around the world. What was happening during those 5 years it did not sprout? It was throwing roots deep into the soil to seek nourishment from the soil. Deep into the soil and to sustain its growth to that height. Friends, for decades, Swami has nourished us. Is it not time that we sprout? Is it not time that we follow what the sun said? Spread light instead of warmth? It's now our time to seek every lesson that he has taught us and sprout as the arms and legs and ears and eyes of Sai. This, I would think, is expected of us. We should go around and do the work that Sai has told us to do. His mission is still on. His mission is not gone. Many years ago, I heard Sai say, Rama has come and left the Ramayana. Krishna has come and left us the Gita. What has this avatar left you? He used to ask us, what has this avatar left you? Some people said this, I have come for your transformation. Then he said something very important. Transformation means what? You, that means you and I, are not human beings. Mark this sentence carefully. We are not human beings. We are spiritual beings born on earth to have an experience of a human existence so that we can further our spiritual growth. He said, people say, I want to become spiritual. You're already spiritual. Remove the sheets away from you. You have taken human birth in order to attain that heritage which is already spiritual. Each and every one of us is cast in a mold. When you were made, Swami took the mold and threw it away. What am I trying to say? You are unique. Each and every one is unique in his own way, or each and every one is unique in her own way. Do not compare yourself with others. You can become the best that you have. You are the best in Swami's eyes for yourself. Your mold is thrown away. There is no duplication. So you have to become the best that you have. Oh, she is better than me, or he is richer than me, or he is brighter than me. Forget about it. Whatever troubles, travels, everything you are going through for your own sake, in order to claim that spirituality that is there. How do you become that? How do you get that idea of becoming spiritual? Well, Swami lays down a road plan for all of us. Here's a map. Let me tell you some of the stories, real life stories, that I've heard Swami tell us in order to achieve this. Swami says, erect signpost along the pathway of life. The first signpost. And he illustrates it with a story. This story, I think, Swami repeated in the second Sevadal conference, All India Sevadal conference. Paganini was a violinist. Paganini was an Italian violinist of renowned fame. Paganini was once called to perform at the Royal Opera House in Paris. At that time, Paris considered itself the center of Western civilization, of Western culture, of Western music. Paganini was from Italy, and Italy is a poor neighbor of France. But he was called because of his virtuosity. In the audience were the crowned heads of Europe and the greatest music critics of that era. And Paganini was to perform solo, and he had his very favorite violin. So Paganini goes on stage, picks up his violin, and starts to strum his instrument, tune his violin. When suddenly, zing, one string breaks. There's a dead silence in the audience. Mind you, this is a world conference at that time. There's a dead silence in the audience. Paganini quietly goes on tuning his instrument when the second string breaks. At that time, a certain section of the audience starts little titter, little merriment. Paganini quietly goes on tuning his instrument, but the impossible happened. The third string breaks. The violin has 4 strings. This is a real life story. Paganini takes the violin, holds it aloft, goes to the center of the stage and says, Paganini and 1 string, and plays one of the most beautiful pieces of music that has come down to us. Swami asked, what is the moral of this story? The 4 strings, the 3 strings that broke are your support systems. We say, I could not do my work because my family let me down. That's 1 string. I could not do my work because my friends let me down. I could not do my work because my co-workers let me down. But that 1 string, it is there, gave and brought forth beautiful music. And what is that string called, Swami says? It is called Atma Vishwas. That Atma Vishwas gave Paganini that Atma Shakti, that discipline that he had to play that beautiful music. What a wonderful illustration of discipline. 4 strings, 3 of them are our support systems. You can call them anything you want. The 1 system is the system of discipline. Now, how do you get this discipline? It's very easily said than done. Let me come to a more recent story. You've all heard of Lakshmi Mittal, the steel magnate. In 1973, Mohan Mittal, that is Lakshmi's father, wanted to build a steel factory. And he decided that the tax structure in India was not good. He will go to Jakarta and establish the best steel plant in the whole of Asia. That was his ambition. So he gathered workers from all over India, from all over the Asian Pacific region, all excellent top-class people, in order to build his steel factory. Then the question arose, who is going to be the leader of this elite team? Each and every one of them were excellent. So he hit upon a plan. He went to one man who was, say, mixing cement. And he said, "Sir, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm mixing cement." He went to one lady and she was laying down bricks. "What are you doing?" She said, "Can't you see in this hot sun, I'm laying down bricks." So on and so forth. He went to somebody who was cutting wood. "I'm doing this, I'm doing that." Until he hit upon a bright young spark. And he asked that man, "What are you doing?" And he said, he was cutting wood. He said, "I am engaged in the task of building the best steel plant in the whole of Asia." That man had the total picture in mind. He was engaged in one task. The Swami says, you must all be aware of the total picture. See how beautifully put. And therefore, Mittal said, this man is going to be our leader. So how would you get that discipline? You must know. If you know the total picture, you have that Atma Vishwas. You must know the total picture of what you are dealing with. Do you know what is the total picture of Swami's mission? Have we understood it? This is what Swami tried to tell us. Beautiful stories. So the first signpost along the way was what? Discipline. What was the second signpost? Know the total picture. The third signpost. The third signpost along the way would be what? Cooperate with everyone. Everyone can do something, but everyone cannot do everything. But together, we can do many things. And he tells the story of the Paralympics. Do you all know what Paralympics are? Paralympics are the Olympics of the differently able people. The scene was Dublin, in Ireland. The year was 2001. And the Paralympics was on. The 100 meters mixed race was on. There were 10 contestants from different countries in that race. All these are true stories. There were 10 different contestants from each country in the Olympics, the Paralympics. Some was slightly visually disabled, some was physically disabled, some was mentally disabled. The gun went off and the contestants started forward. They moved forward. When suddenly, they were at different stages, when suddenly there was a noise. And contestant in lane number 5 had fallen down. His name was Fred. And he was on crutches. And he fell down. A strange thing happened. The race stopped. Everybody stopped. They all went to Fred, who had fallen down. Some picked him up, somebody dusted his clothes. A Mongolian child, Mongolian with that big head, mentally slightly deficient. She sort of bent down and patted him and she said, there, Fred, don't worry, everything is going to be all right. And then they did a fantastic thing which was reported in all the papers of the world. This was the Paralympics. Each one was representing their nation. The battle was lost because the race was gone. They had stopped. But what they did, each one of them linked their arms together and each one ran towards the goal. The battle was lost, but the war was won. 45,000 people were in the audience. 45,000 people stood up and the clapping went on for 15 minutes. And I can tell you, there was not a single dry eye in the audience. I happened to be there. There was not a single dry eye in the audience. happens. What a fantastic story these people said together. Each one, so Swami says, I have created the Satya Sai Samitis, the Mahila Vibhags, the various organizations. Why don't you all work together? Why do we have separate issues? See these people. They showed us what you can do together. Work together. I find that there are dissensions amongst us. There are differences of opinion amongst us. Some people are claiming Swami is coming to them, etc., etc. Who knows? Swami works in many ways, his wonders to perform. I'm not saying anything. But what is the outcome of it all? Just work together solidly as one group to fulfill Swami's dream. Swami is not happy. Let me tell you this much. He is not happy when we fight amongst ourselves. He is not happy when we have these problems amongst ourselves. Take it from me as an authority. He has not told me to tell you this. But he has said so that he is not happy. So, what is the third signpost? Work together. What is the fourth signpost? Whatever you do, do it with love. Swami has said enough about love. When Swami says God is love, it is not a very empty statement. For those who have gone beyond, know that there is a canopy, a tapestry of love. When you go there, you go into the arms, there is no God in the sense of God with a nose and eyes and ears. There's only you are enveloped in a complete effusions of love. You feel that love all around you, surrounding you. That, Swami says, is God. In India, for a long time, the sages and the poets have claimed, if I may use a little Hindi, ye dunya hai, wahan dil ka lagana kisko aata hai? Is a question that has been put. Hazaron pyar karte hain, nibhana kisko aata hai? Millions love, millions say they love. Who understands the real meaning of love? The real duty associated with love? Swami gives this instance. There's a very beautiful, beautiful phrase of love, which I am not able to memorize, because at the age of 80 now, I find the brain doesn't function as it used to. But Swami says this has been, in everything the good is there. In everything the good is there. Our goal is to find it. In every person the best is there. Our job is to recognize it. In every situation the positive is there. Our opportunity is to see it. In every problem the answer is there. Our responsibility is to provide it. In every setback the victory is there. Our adventure is to discover it. In every situation the reason is there. Our challenge is to understand it. This is love. If you love, who do you love the most, Swami says? Who should you love the most? So somebody answered, Swami you, Swami God, Swami this. Swami says you should love yourself first, because you have not understood. He is the one avatar that has given you the address of God. He has told us what is God's address. He said, God resides in our hearts, in the spiritual heart of the human being. And if he resides in my heart, he resides in yours, and yours, and yours, and yours, and yours. And therefore, the whole idea of Swami saying, you love God, and yet you don't love your fellow human beings, how is it possible? Because God resides in him also. Discover it. Find out the God that is in him. It's wonderful, beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience, a beautiful way of teaching us the similes, the stories that we had. I'll tell you, I was once in Swami's room. It was about 2:30 in the afternoon. And a student was massaging Swami's leg. Swami was just lying down like this. And he was talking to me. And Swami was talking to me. I and Swami and the student were the only people in the room. Now this is the old, when Swami used to stay above the mandir. Behind Swami is a shelf. On the shelf was a timepiece. Shelf was a timepiece. Suddenly, We were talking. Suddenly the student gets up. He goes behind Swami. He picks up the timepiece and he starts. Swami asked him, what are you doing? Swami, this timepiece is slow, so I'm setting it right. Swami looks at me and says, see, Mistry, wo pat seva karta hai. He's doing seva of the Lord's feet and his attention is on the timepiece. Now the student is a young boy, smart, with the exuberance of youth. And he said simply, he said, Swami says everything is Swami. So the timepiece is even Swami. Now Swami is lying down. He gets up. You dare not say this. Until you have experienced the fact that the timepiece is Swami, you don't say otherwise, you are only using it as an excuse. I thought it was a profound lesson for me to learn. I didn't think that this boy was being scolded. I think I was being told a lesson. I was being taught a lesson. Swami suddenly gets up. He says, you can't say this. When you say this, you're only using an excuse. Unless you realize the fact that that timepiece is me, then you have the right to say it. See how Swami teaches us this responsibility. Once I was present next to Swami when a state president came with a with a list of activities that was being done in the state. And they were very impressive. Now, stupid me, I could have kept quiet. But sometimes, I'm very foolish. And Swami was seeing that. And when the state president left, I said, Swami, good work. Good work, hai. But is it God's work? I took a step back. I said, Swami, all good work is God's work. Think about it. He says. Think about it. I said, what is it? Explain it to me. You think and you tell me, he says. What is God's work and what is good work? Swami draws a line between good work and God's work. When any work is done in the spirit of devotion, without any aim of getting benefit out of it, without any aim of anything to be got from it, given with unconditional love, that is God's work. People say, you take the work, you dedicate it to the Lord, and that is not, you see a hungry child and you give it a banana to eat. But if you bend down, you peel the banana, you break it, you put it into the child's mouth, that is work that involves yourself. That, Swami says, is good work, God's work. Let us know how many signposts have we erected? 4. Okay, what should be the 5th one? What should be the 5th one? Swami says, have a sense of humor. Swami says, have a sense of humor. The work that you do it. Don't take life seriously, but don't take yourself so seriously. You're here, this world has been created for you. We think that religiosity, spirituality, somber face, not even a slightest joke. Swami denies this. Let me tell you a few instances where the joke has been on me. Kasturiji once came to my room. Prashanti Nilayam said, Swami is calling you. Come. I said, I have not had my tea as yet. It was morning, 7 o'clock. Well, I put on my thing and I went, stupid me, said I didn't have tea as yet. Swami was calling me. And Swami said, come, sit in the car. Swami sometimes goes around the villages in the car, early morning. He picks up 3 or 4 people and he goes with them. He stopped at one village when a woman came to him with a hot glass of milk. He says, Swami, drink it. Swami put his finger inside and said, no. If you don't drink it, you give it to somebody else. Give it to this man. I was sitting in front. Raja Reddy was driving in the front, and Swami was at the back. He said, give it to this man. Swami had put his finger inside. I had had my cup of tea early morning, so I drank it with great pleasure. We went to the second village. Same thing repeated. Came with a glass of milk, a slightly larger glass. In Andhra, there are sometimes big glasses. Swami says, no. Swami, if you don't drink it, give it to your party members to give it to that man. So I took it again. We went to the third village. Can you believe it? The same thing repeated. Swami said, give it to that man. 3 glasses of hot milk. I turned around and said, Swami, if you will excuse me, I will spoil your car now. any more milk? I'm sorry. I can't. But tumne tea nahi liya na. You didn't take tea in the morning. See, this is how Swami teaches us. Another story, let me tell you. When my mother was here in Prashanti Nilayam, Swami called her for an interview. I was also called, and he told Mother, I'm coming to Bombay within a month. I will come to your house for tea. The way he says is, Swami says, I'll come for tea. So I'm sorry, it's something, it struck a humorous vein in me or something. So I sort of slightly cuckolded, and Mother also smiled. Why are you smiling? She said, I have heard you say this for the last 3 years, Swami, that you will come for tea. Well, you have not come. Hold out your hand. So she held out. What is that? Promise. This is my solemn promise. I'm coming to your house for tea. Mother was very excited. Now Mother stays separately, I stay separately. So Mother went to her house, not that it needed a paint, but she painted the whole thing. She changed the curtains. She did that. Her Lord was coming. She was happy. Well, Swami came. One Wednesday morning, Swami tells Indulal Shah to sit in the car. He tells me to sit in the car. Swami stays on top of a hill there. And he says, take me to your house. I turned around, I said, Swami, see, every time he comes, Swami wants certain protocols to be followed. I normally invite him, that please come to my house. This time I did not invite him for the simple reason that he had told Mother, and I thought it would be extremely selfish for me to again tell him to come to my house. So I didn't say anything. Take me to your house. So I said, Swami, you told Mother that you are going to her house. Take me to your house. So I was stupid. I said, Swami, but you said Mother's house. You don't want to take me to your house? Now, how do you answer this question? But when Swami gives you a problem, he will give you a solution. Swami said this on top of the hill. He went downstairs. He got out of the car to give darshan to the devotees who were there. I immediately called a Sevadal boy, whom I knew well and who knew my family. He said, do 2 things for me quietly, quickly, without question. First, phone my wife and tell her that Swami, you see, the distance I stay from where Swami stays in Bombay is about a drive of 1.5 hours. I said, in another 1 hour, Swami will be coming at our house. When Swami comes, we are ready. So I knew that she would be ready. It was not an imposition on her, though she was not expecting him. And number 2, I said, phone up my mother and tell her to hot-foot it quickly to my house. Don't ask questions. Say, I have said so. Go quickly to my house. So Pramod Dalal, of course, he's poor man, no more. So Pramod phones up my wife, phones up my mother. And then Swami, to give us time, goes to somebody's house in between, spends some 10 minutes there, then he goes to my house. He enters my house, sees my mother sitting there, along with all my relatives. Abba, what a selfish son you have got. He has brought me to his house. I should have come to your house. All my relatives, because in mother's house, they felt that they were a little more freer with Swami than they would be in my house, because I impose a little discipline on them regarding Swami. Abba, look at this, what a son you have got. All my sisters and all were glaring at me. Mother and father were laughing, smiling away. Swami didn't say anything. Swami stood there, stayed in this house for an hour. 2 or 3 times he repeated to my mother, this kind of a son is no good. What is this? So mother smiled. Swami, can Keki or anyone take you anywhere where you don't want to go? Is it possible? Your wish. Good girl. Swami went away. Then in the car he told me, your mother and father were very good. They never remonstrated once with me. So you do one thing. 2 days later, I will go to their house. And Swami, true to his word, went to their house. So we got a double bonus on that day, only because mother and father reacted correctly to the examination that Swami put them through, to the test that Swami put them through. They said, can Swami be taken anywhere? Can Keki has the quality to take Swami anywhere he wants? No. So, this is the humor that he played. In the old house here, the old structure here, one day Swami was sitting downstairs in the ground floor, and I passed by, he called me, come here, hold out your finger. So I held out my finger. Then he says, he put my finger in his mouth. When he was about to put it, I resisted. He said, why? I said, Swami, my fingers are not clean. I can't put them in your mouth. So he did like, abhi clean ho gaya. Now see this. His tooth had split open, his tooth. Why? Completely down to the root. He put my hand into his mouth and he turned it around like this. He says, what do you do? He says, Swami, I'm not a dentist. I'm an orthodontist. I've never practiced dentistry in my life. But it's a non-vital tooth. So I think the dentist would ask you to remove it. I mean, I don't know, but you should consult a dentist, proper dentist. Tumko kuch malum nahi. Go. Then I don't know what he did. Every 10 minutes a student would come to me and say, Dr. Mistry, did you tell Swami that he should remove his tooth? Swami told everybody, this Bombay fellow comes and tells me I should remove my tooth. Which is not correct. But he put me. All the students used to come to me and say, did you tell Swami that to remove his tooth? No, I did not tell Swami to remove his tooth. Anyway, I know better not to argue with that. The next morning, he again calls me. He says, hold out your finger. I was prepared by that time. Put it there. The tooth had become as firm as a rock. The split was gone. Dekho, tum doctor log ko kuch malum nahi. You doctors don't know anything. I said, Swami, you are the doctor of doctors. What can I say? I can't say anything. I saw the tooth absolutely split down to the root. Non-vital. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, that's his sense of humor. When he jokes around with us like this, should we not enjoy the world that he has given us in the right spirit and the right attitude? Mind you, he's not against our enjoyment of the world, which is wrongly understood. By enjoyment, he means the correct enjoyment. Watch the beautiful sunset that is taking place. Admire his creation. Watch the beautiful night falling. Watch the stars that glow. You know, I remember a poem by a rubaiyat by that Sufi seer, Khayyam. His first sentence, awake for morning at the break of dawn, has flung the stones that put the stars to flight. And lo, the hunter of the east has caught the sultan's turret in a noose of light. I was so impressed. I was about a 14-year-old boy. Has flung the stone that puts the stars to flight. You know, what a beautiful way of explaining morning. Enjoy, explain it, understand it. That same rubaiyat goes on to explain certain things about Swami. Listen carefully to that rubaiyat. There was a door to which I found no key. There was a veil past which I could not see. Some talk a while between me and thee, and then no more of me and thee. Then to the rolling heavens itself I cried, asking what lamp had destiny to guide thy stumbling millions at thy door. And understanding awareness, heaven replies. This is what Swami has come to instill in us. An understanding, not only an awareness of us, an understanding awareness of why are we here? What are we doing? What is meant by us to do? In Prashanti Nilayam, I was standing next to Swami when a British couple, middle age, came up to Swami and said, Swami, you have done so much for us. So much. We want to do something in return. Swami says, fine, fine, thank you, I don't need anything. No, Swami, we must do something for you. In return. They insisted. I was standing there. Swami says, you want to do something for me? Then do this. Whatever you see, you think you see it with the eyes of Swami. Whatever you speak, you think that you are speaking with Swami's tongue. Whatever you hear, you think that Swami is hearing. Where you walk where you think Swami will go. Whatever you do with your hands, you do that where Swami is. This is what you will serve me best. This is what he wants from us. He says, don't put me on a pedestal to worship. Hold my hand, be my friend. If you put me in front of you, you will not be able to catch up. He has said this often. If you put me behind you, I may not want to follow you. But if you put me by your side, I will hold your hand. He has not promised us a smooth passage. He has not said, I will give you a smooth passage. But I will not let go your hand through the ups and downs of life. If you hold my hand as a friend and you take me as a friend. Oh, how can we take Swami as a friend? But he wants to. He wants you to call him as a friend. He doesn't want you to worship him. He wants you to follow his teachings. He wants you to be himself. This was the problem with the early Christians when they were told that be Christ. Blasphemy. How can you be Christ? Well, that was the whole of Christ's teachings. Follow my qualities. Swami said to that British couple, walk along the path that I walk. Mind you, listen to this beautiful saying. You see with my eyes, hear with my eyes. You identify with Swami. Then you will serve me the best possible. Have I bored you enough? All of you? No? I should bore you still more? So, what is the signpost now? The fifth signpost? With love. What is the next signpost? What is the next signpost you think Swami wants from us? Nobody is going to answer me. Sorry? Service. The whole of life is service, Swami says. It's not a distinctity. You take a breath, you are serving the Lord. You speak, you are serving the Lord. This is the lesson he wants to drive us home. Seva is not distinct. Every act of yours should be an act of seva. Every move of yours should be an act of seva. Every action of ours should be a move of seva. This is what he means by doing seva. I once approached Swami for an X-ray machine for his hospital there. It was one of the most advanced X-ray machines in the world, and it would really set the standard for the hospital. And Swami said, how much does it cost? And I said, 6 crores. No, too expensive. Too expensive. Just as he said this to me, I won't mention the name because you possibly know him, a businessman approached Swami. And he offered him 9 crores for doing any work. And I thought to myself, I'm sorry, in my mind I thought, chalo, my X-ray machine has come. You know what Swami said? नहीं मेरे को नहीं मांगता, तुम्हारा पैसा तुम रखो. Keep your money yourself. He said, Swami, 9 crores, why are you refusing? Well, he went away, of course. I said, I thought, I'm sorry, I was blinded. I was thinking of the X-ray machine. I was saying, Swami, 9 crores. नहीं, उसका पैसा अच्छा नहीं है. His money is not good, I don't want it. People talk about Swami. Swami was not interested in that kind of money. He was not interested. He turned down 9 crores in front of me because he said, that money is not good. I don't want it. What are the other things that we should say? Somebody said seva, and I said seva is a way of life. I wasn't meaning to be rude, I was meaning to be factual. This is what Swami says. I am only quoting to you what Swami says. There is nothing that I know of. Just 2 or 3 months before Swami passed away, or shed his physical body, he was talking to me. He says, this hospital, I said, it's a very nice hospital. Yes, hospital has been built, but where is the structure, Mistry, for preventing people from getting into hospital? So I said, Swami, I don't understand you. No. I know you don't understand. People don't understand what I am saying. All these years I have been saying, people don't understand. What is the structure? I said, what does you mean? No, use our ancient sciences, yoga, pranaya, meditation. Build a healthy body. Build a body that people don't have to go. Where is that structure? So I said, Swami, there is a gymnasium, there is a wellness center attached to the hospital. I know it is there. No, I don't mean a gymnasium where you lift weights. I mean use our ancient sciences to build a wellness center. So I went back home and called an architect friend of mine and said, let us design this wellness center. Tum Bombay mein karo ek. He told me as I was passing by. Okay. So as I was designing, as I and the architect friend was designing, a lady whom I knew since she was 8 years of age, stays in Sydney, Australia. She looks over my shoulder and says, Keki, what is this? So I explained to her that this is the wellness center. She said, oh, I have just sold some property. I got 70 lakhs of rupees. Please take it for this center. Now I know that when you go with a project to Swami, the first question he will ask you is, where is the money coming from? Isn't it? So I took the plans for Swami's approval. He was very happy. He blessed the plans. Kahan banayega? I said, Swami, in Bombay. Kidhar hai jameen? Jameen hai. Dharma Kshetra, we have the place for it. Okay. Paisa kahan se aayega? Bola, paisa aa gaya, Swami. Itna jaldi aa gaya? No, nahi, Swami. Itna jaldi nahi hai ki aapne jaldi bhej diya. You have sent the money. Acha. He knew it. He knew exactly what he was doing, what he said. Then the next thing I did was I went home, and the next thing I knew was that he was admitted to hospital. Well, I came to the hospital. We were not allowed to go inside the ICU room. And I was sitting there outside. When sitting next to me was Swami's nephew. Now, he has been sitting next to me on the veranda for years, maybe at least 20, 25 years. We have never exchanged any word except Sai Ram, how are you, this kind of a thing. He's sitting next to me. All of a sudden, he turns to me and says, how is your wellness center coming along? Believe me, friends, I got an electric shock at that moment. I said, how do you know? Only our Srinivasan from Madras and Chakravati was there when Swami gave this approval. Nobody else. I said, how do you know? He said, no, when Swami was not well, the family asked permission to go and see him. And when we went there, Swami was talking about this wellness center. He said, Mistry is constructing in Bombay. Then I took it upon myself very seriously. That this is a message from the ICU to me. Go ahead with it. It's not been easy. It cost about 3 crores. But we have managed to build it, and we intend to do the opening sometime in December. This is December. Now, this wellness center, I need some help from some of you, and I think I have been sent here today for a reason, because already on my way here, I met somebody who is a coach in this thing, somebody who is doing certain things in the wellness center, right? So your boys have agreed to help me form a module, and they seem more excited. You see, we think we are doing something, but Swami is already there. He has already achieved it. He has already done it, and he has already got himself organized for it. Some of your boys have told me that help, and they are qualified people doing this kind of work already. So I'm not worried at all. This wellness center is to be built. Have I exceeded my time, or have I got still more? More time to hai? Kitna more time hai? Please carry on. I should have so many things to carry on. Let me tell you how I came into contact with Swami. When Howard Murfitt approached me that he is writing a book on how people came to see Swami, I told him, I'm sorry, Swami has told me not to tell anyone. He said, why? I said, I don't know. Ask Swami why he has told me not to tell. So we approached Swami, Howard and I. And Swami says, nahi, abhi permission hai, bolo tu. And lately he has told me that you go on speaking about your experience. I said, Swami, if I speak about my experiences, I've got to say I all the time. And people will think that I am talking. He said, no, you better speak about I and I. I want you to speak about your experiences. I said, you'll look bad. So I'm sorry, I spoke to him like this. Anyway, in 1963, I developed a very bad cough. Very bad cough. And it became so bad that I could not sleep flat. I almost spent my night almost in a half supine position. I had myself examined, and they found that I had a tumor the size of a golf ball in my throat, in the nasopharyngeal area. The nasopharyngeal area is where the nose and the throat connect. And my voice was becoming like that. This is how I was speaking. This was my voice. This is how I was speaking. And at that time, I was so many years younger. And it meant the end of my practice, really, because who will go to a doctor whom you can hardly hear what he is talking? I'm sorry. And they wanted to operate on me. Now, I have seen 3 cases like this. The operation, you know, sound, when you speak, sound is a voice is trapped sound. You trap sound and therefore the voice comes true. Now, I have seen those operations where the nasopharynx is opened up and the result is just as bad. You speak just the same way. Right, doctor? Isn't it? Like this. So, cut a long story short, somebody gave me a picture of Swami. And I said, please keep it. I don't know. I have respect. I've been brought up in a family which respects all religions, everything. But some vibhuti gave me. I said, no, please, you keep it. This was 6 months before I became worse. And dire necessity, no spiritual quest, no hunger, no nothing, no, just Swami's calling card. And it was in that same Savant's minister's place that Swami was there in Bombay when he called me. So I went to see him. Now I knew nothing about Swami. So I went there at 12 o'clock when Swami retired. And being a minister's bungalow, there was a policeman at the gate. So I said, Swami has called me. Yeah, aap educated dikhta hai. You are an educated looking man. Why are you saying things like that? Swami has called you. Where is the call? How am I to answer? Where is the call? Nothing. I don't know what came over me. It was 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I went there. The sun was hot. I decided to stay on the road across the bungalow. It became 1:30, 1:45. I was getting very tired. Finally, I decided mentally that at 2 o'clock I'll call it quits and I'll go home. Suddenly in that bungalow, it's a 3-story bungalow, a small window opens on top. And Swami looks out. And he calls me like this. Now mind you, Swami is calling me. The police people are standing here, Swami is here. They have not seen Swami. And there were 2 Sindhi ladies, I think they were widows, because they were in white dress. They were next to me. So I do not know whether he called me or them. So they also came along with me. The policeman got exasperated. He said, I'll lock you up now if you come again. But you know, Swami's kindness. From the 3rd floor, and there was no lift there. Swami came down the stairs. Came down, and then of course the policeman could not stop me. Then he stood there and he was doing like this. I had no idea how Swami was. But you know, I couldn't control myself. I wasn't crying, but tears came down my face. And I was feeling embarrassed that those ladies are looking at me, tears are coming down my face. And Swami looks at me like this. Just for 2 or 3 minutes he must have done that, and I felt a whole lifetime pass by. Now mind you, I was brought up in a very scientific community where Swami's very appearance would not have appealed. I will tell you the honest fact. As I felt completely at peace when I saw him. I felt completely one with him. Surprising. And Swami looks at me, and then he says a very funny thing, mother is not well. So I said, mother has got asthma, Swami, she has not been well for 40 years. Bring her to me tomorrow. Or you also come. You also come. So I said, but these police people won't allow me inside. So I turned around, told somebody, and they gave me a pass for 2. So I went there. At 9 o'clock, Swami said, come next. Now, if Swami had called me at 9, he had called 200 other people also at 9. When I went there, but they were all people in all kinds of sickness. There was a girl who was moaning because she had a tumor in the head. All kinds of things. And we were all sitting there. Like a doctor, he was called, I think I was called 4th. I and my mother went inside. And Swami stood like, I'm standing here. He stood talking to mother, completely gave me his back, as if he's completely excluding me from the conversation. And he told mother, you're breathing like this. Now, that's no great shake because she had an asthmatic body. So if you took one look at her and you knew what asthma is, she had asthma. So, but mother was not interested in herself. So she got upset. She said, but about him, she just said, Malum hai mama. Now look, I was looking as normal as I'm looking. I mean, it was here. But it was not showing. Malum hai, uppar hai. Uppar hai. Negative thoughts, positive thoughts. Should I operate? Should I not get operated? Then mother asked the question that she was worried about. She said, is it cancer? So I took one step backward. Cancer? He said, such authority. Cancer? He is not your son. He is my boy. He has come through you. How can he have cancer? No cancer. Then he told my mother, put your hands out like this. So she put her hands out like this. And he poured a lot of vibhuti. Now mother had never seen it, I had never seen it. A lot of vibhuti into her hand. So she said, what should I do? Khajao. He said it in such authority, khajao. I think if she had not told it in such a strong way, the old lady would not have taken it. I'm telling you all. So she just gulped it up down in front of him. She khajao. He said such authority. Then he turns around to me and says, don't worry, in 3 days you will be all right. I went home. I told my mother in the car, look, I haven't coughed for the last half an hour. She said, keep quiet. Let's go home and see. In the house, I said, I thought some psychology has been worked on me. Hypnotized or maybe something like that. So I decided I'm feeling better. That night I slept flat. But I was not sure. My monkey mind would not give me the assurance. But I went a little ahead. I'm used to, somebody told, I don't know how he got that information, but I used to go to our temple, but I don't know how to say the Avastan prayers, like the Vedic. I don't know how to read the Avastan. But I used to go there 4 times a week and just communicate in front of the fire which we venerate. And to our Mazda, Zarathustra used to come. And I told Zarathustra, I want a human agency to help me. Like this, I was arguing with him. So I went home. I said, I'm not going to show myself to a doctor. I felt much better. If the doctor tells me that the tumor is still there, the psychology will go. 6 months passed in this. 6 months passed. One morning I got up and I spat blood. Little blood, not that much, but I got very nervous. So I went to my ENT surgeon who just died at the age of 101. Just died in Mumbai, one of the leading surgeons. And I said, Hiru, just see. He said, you're very tense. I can't examine you, you're very tense. What have you eaten? I said, no, I have got up from bed and I have come straight to you. He used to start his practice at 7 o'clock, 6:37 in the morning. So I said, I've just come straight to you. He said, I will induct you. Induct means, not give, just slightly make you relaxed and I will examine you. So he inducted me. He says, tell me what happened. I said, why? It's not there. So I sat down, I talked to him, told him what happened. And he said, yes, I heard this about Baba. You are a blessed man, go. So that was my confirmation that I don't have it. After that, there was no going back. I mean, if there is one quality I have is, I'm not ungrateful for whatever happened. So Swami said, no, kya ungrateful? This is only my calling card. I should have called you long ago. This is just my calling card. Whenever I used to tell Swami anything, any complaint, anything I used to tell him, he used to tell me, go downstairs and tell the old man. Go downstairs and tell the... So first I couldn't understand. Then in the Mandiram, Swami used to stay upstairs. In the Mandiram there is the statue of Shirdi Sai. Isn't it? Statue of Shirdi Sai. And it's white. And Swami used to say, go and talk to the old man. You are used to complaining to him anyway. Now, I was not a devotee of Shirdi Sai Baba in this life. I know nothing about it. My only knowledge of it was through Baba. He used to tell me, go downstairs and tell him. Okay. Then about 5 years ago, I lost a very favorite companion of mine, a dog. And he was really a human being with 4 legs. Rather spiritual. I was very upset. I was upset and I was sad. And my wife and all went to bury him. I said, I don't have the stomach for it. You go. I was sitting there, but suddenly Baba comes. Who? Shirdi Sai Baba. In the flesh, as you are sitting there, I saw him. He sat down there, this much distance. And he said, why are you upset? I said, because I lost Mevus. He's here. And Swami opened his kaftan, and from it the head of my dog came out. Head of my dog. But like a plucked chicken, like without any hair. Pink, 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 pink. He's with me. Why are you worried? Then we had a conversation. I'm telling you all this was almost the very first time I only spoke to Swami about it. And the reason I spoke to Swami was, somebody said you had a dream, you hallucinated, and you were upset and this. Nothing. I saw him as much as in the flesh. And Sai was looking beautiful. And he looked so vigorous. London's picture, pink skin. And then he and I had a chat. We talked. And then I don't know what made me bold to say, Sai, I have seen Satya Sai Baba. I have now seen you. But I don't have darshan of Zoroaster. I've never had darshan of Zoroaster. Zoroaster darshan you want? No problem. He's here by my side. And Swami moves away, and there comes Zoroaster in the exact way in which he was supposed to come. He's supposed to be surrounded by yellow light all the time. I just literally passed out. Almost passed out. This is Swami's grace, I distinctly saw him. I came and told my wife. She said, you must have dreamt something. You slept down. So I said, okay, I kept quiet. Then next time I went to Swami, I said, of course you are lucky. I said, I'm not lucky, Swami, you made me lucky. I had no capacity to see Shirdi Sai nor Zoroaster, but you gave me the chance to see him. And for which I shall be, and I right now, ever grateful for the great chance that you have given me. I pray that each and every one of us realizes what we have gone through. I was supposed to be here 1 month ago or 2 months ago. I was called, and I said, no, I'm going out of India. And suddenly he calls me on the day of the avatar. I am happy that he has called me on such an auspicious day. I am happy to speak to people who are like-minded and devotees of Sai. And I hope that like the bamboo tree, we have now got sustenance from Swami for so many years. Most of you, all of you, especially the young of you, why young? All of you are young in Swami's eyes. All of us will grow and sprout higher and higher. I bless that it be so. Please trust one thing. Love yourselves first. Do not hate yourself for anything that you may have done. Always remember that you are one with Swami. Swami is in you and in everybody else. Jai Sai Ram.